Hi, Katie Anderson, Leadership and Learning Coach here today. And I want you to reflect today on if you've ever had a time when you've been talking to a friend or a colleague or a family member and sharing something that it's been a challenge or a problem or something you've been struggling with. And all of a sudden they jump in with a ton of advice and questions like, have you done that? Should you do that? What are you thinking about that? And you can just feel yourself maybe shutting down, thinking, gosh, yes, I've tried all that. I'm still having my problem. It was advice that maybe is not what you needed in the moment. I had an experience of this weekend in a personal setting, and I wanted to share that with you because it really reminded me how often we think we're being helpful in either a home setting or at work, when in fact we're doing the opposite, because even though we're wanting to help, our actions are not aligned with what's most helpful in that moment. So I had the wonderful experience of getting together with some of my college girlfriends this past weekend. We hadn't seen each other in years. And one of the evenings, we decided to go around and first share something that's been a real challenge, or like a deep challenge that we've had over the last year. And one of my friends kicked us off and was sharing something that's been, a really personal some challenge that she's been struggling with. And in the wonderful spirit of wanting to be helpful, a lot of my girlfriends started jumping in with suggestions or advice or leading questions. And I could see my friend shutting down a little bit. And I certainly was having that experience too. Like, oh, I don't want to be sharing my problem or my challenge if everyone's just going to jump in and pile on top of me. Unintentionally coming from a space of kindness and wanting to help, but not what is needed in the moment. And I was thinking about all the things that I talk about at work, about how we need to be present, how we need to listen and receive, and also how and when do we ask questions and the types of questions as well. So I called a timeout and proposed that we instead have a ground rule of just receiving the challenge, receiving the problems, hearing and listening, and maybe asking some questions that are open-ended at the end, but really not jumping in and giving advice unless that's what the other person wanted. And it really changed the dynamic as we went around. Everyone was much more present and really hearing the challenges and the problems someone else was experiencing, not jumping into problem-solving mode, which wasn't necessarily what was helpful for the other person in the moment. And it really opened up the connection and the discovery, and also allowed for then helpful questions to emerge from that, and then some sharing of ideas and suggestions later. But I wanted to share this because so often, and I experience this in my personal life and professional life too, we are wanting to be helpful and we jump into problem solving mode, but that is not what is helpful in the moment. Sometimes, and oftentimes actually, when someone's coming forward with a challenge or a problem, it's about listening and receiving that and hearing and providing space for them to talk about it. And then also asking open-ended inquiry questions, starting with what or how, that are not leading to an answer or trying to solve a problem or coming up with suggestions, but helping the other person think about possibilities maybe they haven't explored yet. So I just am sharing this with you today because it really was a reminder to me how unintentionally our desire to help by jumping into problem solving mode actually is not aligned with our purpose to really truly help. And so how can we sit with that and also be cognizant of the things that are coming out of our mouth, and when and how should we be jumping in to help someone with problem solving, and when instead we should give space and ask open questions to provide support and to let the other person think and discover as well. I have some tips about how to do this on my website, kbjanderson/telling-habit. I also will be linking to some other videos that I've talked about how to ask effective questions and listen and really be more impactful in aligning your actions between telling and asking to be the most helpful in the moment. So that's my tip in my story here today, and just pay attention to what's truly most helpful in the moment. And when are you jumping in and asking questions to help someone else think? Or when are you giving space to just hear and listen? And also then when is advice and you jumping in to do some coactive problem solving together the most helpful? So more information on my website, again, kbjanderson.com. youtube.com/telling-habit, and some other links to videos below. If you like these videos, also subscribe to my YouTube channel where I have a lot more resources like this for you as well. And please share as well some of the challenges and experiences you've had when either sharing a problem or a challenge, and how someone else has responded that's either been helpful or unintentionally not as helpful as well. So thank you and have a great day. And remember, lead with intention and align your purpose and your actions to be impactful in the way that you truly want to. Have a great day.